into the game, maybe got 3 innings in, but then you waste a couple of pitchers. So it was a good call last night. We'll play 2 tonight, or 2 today, and this will obviously be a make-or-break series for State in terms of the postseason. These 2 games today critical for the Pack, and standing in the way is Virginia Tech with the 3 games left in this 2014 regular season. Pressure on State intense right now. We'll see if the Pack can play well enough to reach its goals, and right now there are 3 of them left. The first, obviously, is to make the ACC tournament. The second would be to play well enough in the ACC tournament to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. And the final goal would be to play well enough in the NCAA tournament to make a second straight appearance in the College World Series. It's obviously an uphill battle, but it's one step at a time. It's possible, not going to be easy, but that first step is what we're concentrating on today, and that is to make the ACC tournament. Only the teams with the best records, the top 10 with the best conference records, will be going to Greensboro next week. And right now, State is barely in the picture. The Pack is up by a half game over Pitt right now, but both teams are on the bubble. Pack's ACC record 11-16. State is in 5th place in the Atlantic Division. Pitt is the 6th place team in the Coastal. The Panthers dropped to 11-17 because they lost to Notre Dame yesterday by the final score of 3-0. So State is in 10th place right now as we speak, overall by a half game over Pitt. But a lot of things can happen before the end of this weekend, as you folks well know. But to keep it simple, here's the best explanation that we could give you. 5 teams are already in the tournament. Those 5 are Florida State, Maryland, Miami, Virginia, and Duke. 6 other teams are fighting for the other 5 spots, and those 6 are Pitt, Georgia Tech, Carolina, Wake Forest, Clemson, and NC State. So basically it comes down to a couple of simple scenarios, and probably more than that, but we're just picking out 2 of the many that are out there. Georgia Tech's finished its regular season. The Yellow Jackets are at 14-16 in the ACC, so if State could sweep the Hokies here this weekend, Pack would tie Georgia Tech at 14-16 and make the ACC tournament because it would win the tiebreaker with Georgia Tech. And that, of course, is head-to-head competition. In late April, State won 2 of 3 from the Yellow Jackets. So that's the best scenario for State. Sweep the Hokies, tie Georgia Tech, get into the ACC tournament with a tiebreaker over the Yellow Jackets. Right now, 3 teams are out of the ACC tournament picture. Again, that's as we speak, and that's Boston College, Notre Dame, and State's opponent, Virginia Tech. The Hokies right now are 8-19 in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but this team's not a pushover. They got a first-year coach, Patrick Mason. He's trying to build a program, so you know that he is not going to allow his guys to tank it and just kind of play out the string. Virginia Tech also has the luxury of being able to throw everything they've got at the Pack because their season is probably over on Saturday, tomorrow, regardless of what happens this weekend. So if State only wins 2 games in this final series with Virginia Tech, the Pack would have to start praying and get some help, and then the scenarios get more complicated. But again, the simplest one is if that happens, if State just wins 2 games up here, then that would force a tiebreaker. Say if State wins a doubleheader today, that would force a tiebreaker, and State would need Clemson to finish ahead of Duke in the final ACC standings. So we'll be watching Clemson today. We'll be watching Pitt and Notre Dame today, and we'll also obviously be keeping our eyes on this ball game because State's got to win. It's as simple as that. When we come back, we'll talk to a winner. We'll back catcher Brett Austin. This is State Baseball from Learfield Sports. Okay. All right, so that's good right there. That's good right there. Hey, Dave, when we come back, just give me the go sign, and I'll hit the recorded interview. All right, thank you. Well, it's a nice day, that's for sure. Talk about the weather when we come back on the other side. I forgot to ask them whether they're going to play the national anthem. So we got sunshine, partly cloudy skies, a high of about 65 and no rain. That's good. Because it sure rained a bunch yesterday.
155 on the end.
155 on there. Okay, that'll work. Should work out okay. If not, I'll just go right to the break.
And during the course of today's game, we ask for your cooperation in returning all foul balls and balls hit out in this field. Please return all foul balls to the concession stand in exchange for a free toss. The agency and Virginia Tech promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants in positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated on the grounds for removal from the country. Also, the consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is defined as
Pull that down just a little bit.
okay, it's time for today's starting lineup. The Hokies in today's game with a record of 20, 29, and 1, and an 18, 8, and 19 ACC. The Wolfpack game today with a record of 30 to 21 overall, and an 11 to 16 ACC. I'll start by introducing the starting lineup for the visiting NC State Wolfpack. Leadoff for the Wolfpack, he playing shortstop, number 8, Trey Turner. Batting second, and playing second base, number 6, Brendan Rasmus. Batting third and playing third base, number 11, Andrew Kisner. Batting fourth and doing the catching for the Wolfpack, number 7, Brett Austin. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 24, Chase Shepard. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 30, Jake Fincher. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 12, Preston Palmero.
Okay.
Batting eighth for the Wolfpack and playing left field,
What are they doing on the mound? Putting bug spray out there or something?
Batting 9, playing right field, number 15, Garrett Stubb. Taking the mound for the Wolfpack today with a season record of 5 and 7, number 16, Carlos Rodon. And now the starting lineup for your Virginia Tech Hokies. Leading out for the Hokies and playing center field, number 18, Sage Jinko. Batting second and playing second base, number 8, Alex Perez. Batting third and doing the catching for the Hokies, number 2, Mark Zabunas. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 34, Brendan Payton. Batting fifth for the Hokies and playing left field, number 15, Phil Soretta. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 25, Sean Castellica. Batting seventh for the Hokies, the right fielder, number 6, Logan Bible. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 40, Ricky Surham. And batting 9 and playing third base for the Hokies, number 14, Ryan Stumps. Taking the mound for the Hokies today with a record of 2 and 7, number 35, Brad Markey. First base is Linda Field. And behind the plate today, David Seth.
All right, that's Brett Austin, Wolfpack catcher, and a guy who has really stepped up here for the Wolfpack down the stretch to get this team in a position where it can possibly make the ACC tournament, and who knows what happens after that. The head coaches and the umpiring crew are now at home plate. They're going over the ground rules here of English Field in Blacksburg. The Wolfpack comes in with a record of 30-21, and as we mentioned earlier, 11-16 in the ACC, and right now in the picture for the ACC tournament in the 10th spot by a half game over Pitt. The Pack playing pretty good baseball right now. It's won 9 of its last 12 games. The Virginia Tech Hokies are 20-29, and they have one tie that occurred back in March. The Hokies 8-19 in the ACC, and in last place in the Atlantic Division. Virginia Tech has split its last 4 games, but has lost 12 of its last 14, and included in that was a 10-game losing streak from April the 18th to May the 3rd. Last week, Virginia Tech beat Georgia Tech in the final game of that series to go 1-2. But it's been a very, very tough and challenging year for first-year head coach Patrick Mason and pitching coach Robert Woodard. If that name sounds familiar to you, it should, because he was, of course, at the University of North Carolina, a very, very good baseball player there, and now he's the pitching coach at Virginia Tech. The Pack has been hitting the ball pretty well here lately. The Pack as a team is batting .267 now for the season with 28 homers, averaging 5.7 runs a game. But in May, the Pack batting .307 as a team. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along this afternoon as well. The pitching matchups, Brad Markey will be on the mound for Virginia Tech. Markey is a 5'11 senior, 185-pound right-hander from Bel Air, Maryland. And he'll be faced by the Wolfpack's ace, Carlos Rodon. Rodon pitching just as well as he did a year ago when he was the USA Baseball Player of the Year and a second-team All-American. He's 5-7, but in his 7 losses, the state was shut out 5 times, and the Wolfpack batted only 147 and scored 2 runs. So Carlos Rodon will be on the hill today for state. We'll talk more about the pitching matchups and have the starting lineups for you. But right now, we pause for this. This is State Baseball on the Wolfpack Sports Network. Yeah. 32:45.
Yeah, whatever they decide.
Okay, well, how will I know that?
It'll announce and come back on air.
Okay.
I'll try and get in there.
It'll work. Gary Hahn back at English Field in Blacksburg, Virginia. We're getting you set for game one of this three-game series, and the first of a doubleheader today between the Virginia Tech Hokies and the NC State Wolfpack. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification, and we'll get to the starting lineups and more on the pitching matchups. This is State Baseball from Learfield Sports. Here's the NC State starting lineup for veteran head coach Elliott Avent. Trey Turner, the shortstop, bats first in today's game, followed by his counterpart in the middle part of the infield, Logan Radlich, the second baseman. Radlich batting second at second. Andrew Kisner, one of the leading candidates for ACC Rookie of the Year, batting number 4 in batting average in the ACC coming into this weekend. Andrew Kisner batting third at third. Brett Austin, the catcher, bats fourth. He was our pregame show guest just moments ago before the break. Chad Shepard bats fifth. He's the designated hitter. Jake Fincher is in center field, batting sixth. Preston Palmero, who's been swinging a hot bat recently, will be in the 7th hole for Coach Avent. He'll be at first base. Jake Armstrong, the left fielder, bats eighth. And Garrett Suggs, the freshman right fielder, brings up the bottom of the order. So it's Turner, Radlich, Kisner, Austin, Shepard, Fincher, Palmero, Armstrong, and Suggs. That's the batting order for NC State. Defensively, for the Virginia Tech Hokies, Mark Zagunas, along with Brett Austin of State, one of the 15 finalists for the Johnny Bench Award for the best catcher in college baseball. He's behind the plate catching right-hander Brad Markey. Sean Kaselica is the first baseman. That's Kaselica. Alex Perez is at second. Ricky Surum is the shortstop. Ryan Tufts, T-U-F-T-S, Tufts is a third. Phil Soretta in left field. Sage Jenko in center. And Logan Bible is the right fielder. David Savage is the plate umpire today. Damian Beal is at first base. And Olindo Matia is the third base umpire. And we are ready to go for the first pitch here as right-hander Brad Markey toes the rubber, and we're set for action. The first of two here in Blacksburg today. The 5'11" right-hander throws a curveball that hangs just a little bit high, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. We're underway at 2:04 Eastern Time. Markey, this is his 12th start, 16th appearance on the year. The pitch is low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Markey is 2-7. He has an ERA that's not bad, 3.22. He has thrown 2 complete games. He's pitched 78 innings. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's over for a strike, and it's 2-1. He's given up 77 hits and 78 in the third. 17 walks, so he's got very good control. He struck out 56 in 78-plus innings. 252 is the opponent's batting average. Pitch is swung on, fouled back, and in the air, out of play to the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Brad Markey, the ace of the staff, even with a 2-7 record for Virginia Tech, going against Carlos Rodon, the Wolfpack's ace. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's hit in the air down the left field line. It is hooking and fouled. It one-hopped the fence. The dimensions here at English Field, 330 down the left field line, 330 down the right field line, 375 of the power alleys in left center and right center, and 400 to straightaway center. And we have a wind that is blowing out. If you've ever watched Cubs baseball on WGN, they show the scoreboard at Wrigley Field. Well, this is a hitter's background, and there are flags on top of that background, and these flags are pretty much starched out. The wind blowing straight away from home plate to center field. 2-2 the count on Trey Turner. Here's the pitch, curveball, swung on, hit in the air, foul, right side, out of play. Turner batting .325 on the year. with a team leading 8 home runs, and he is number 2 in the RBI department with 35. Also leads this team, as per usual, in stolen bases, 23 out of 26 for the season. This is his 51st start of the year. Here's the pitch. Line drive caught by the second baseman, Perez, who had to go up the ladder to grab it, and there's one out. Turner hit a rocket shot line drive right to Perez. He jumped as high as he possibly could and was able to bring it down. 1 up, 1 down in the Wolfpack first for Logan Ratledge, the second baseman. Well, you can't hit a ball much harder than Trey Turner hit that one right there, but he smoked it right to Alex Perez, who hadn't played perfectly. There's Ratledge standing in. He's been swinging well at the plate. First pitch, breaking ball in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Ratledge batting .277 on the year, but he has reached base in 18 straight games, and he's batting .377 with a homer and 12 runs batted in during that stretch. So he's turning it on here at the end of the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch, a breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. We had a lot of rain here last night. We could have started the game, maybe played 3 innings, but both teams would have wasted pitchers. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, down the right field line. Will it stay fair or go foul? Foul ground, and Perez not able to catch up with it. The second baseman was really the only guy who had a shot at it. It was kind of in that Bermuda triangle between the first baseman, Gaselica, the right fielder, Bible, and Perez. Really the only guy to have a shot at it, and he just couldn't catch up with it as it bounced foul about 20 feet, foul down the right field line. And almost placed perfectly between the first base bag and the fence, right in that kind of Bermuda triangle there. And so 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Logan Ratledge. Ratledge coming off a really good series against Wake Forest last year. 1-2 pitch, and this is a fastball bounced up there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Markey, not a big guy, as we mentioned. He is just 5'11", about 185 pounds, out of Bel Air, Maryland, which is near the Washington-Baltimore area. 2-2 pitch coming. Ratledge swings, and a high chopper hit to the second baseman, Perez. He'll have an easy throw, and there are 2 outs. Man, that ball was chopped, I'll bet you 30 feet in the air before it came down. Hit hard. This is a synthetic surface, AstroTurf surface here at English Field, and the only dirt on the entire field is the pitcher's mound. Now, as we look out to the field, the infield looks like it's dirt, but it's actually synthetic material, little pebbles, AstroTurf type pebbles. And so there's really no upkeep of this field at all, and I guess that's what Virginia Tech wanted. It's tough to really grow grass up in this area. I remember coming here in the early 90s for NC State football before Virginia Tech really got good, and the field always looked terrible. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes to Andrew Kisner. Kisner with a team-leading .340 batting average, 4 homers, and a team-leading 45 runs batted in. Kisner, one of the candidates for ACC Rookie of the Year, coming off a tremendous game on Tuesday night against Radford when he went 4 for 5, scored 2 runs, and knocked in a run. He swings at an off-speed breaking pitch and misses. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Andrew Kisner. And he's coming off a pretty good series last weekend against Wake Forest when he was 4 for 13 with 3 runs scored and 3 runs batted in. Right-hander against right-hander. 2 out, nobody on in the first, no score. Here's the pitch. A hard 1-hop liner to Surum, and it's off his glove, and Kisner's going to be safe, and that should be a base hit. That ball was smoked, and it was one of those line drives that was only about a foot off the ground, and just about 2 feet before it got to Surum, it hit the ground, so he had to short hop it. He did about the best he could, best a human could do, to get in front of it and try to knock it down. The ball careened off his glove toward the third baseman Tufts, and on easily at first base with an infield single is Andrew Kisner. He hit the ball very, very hard. So that's 2 times. Pax hit it hard here in this first inning. Turner lining out to second to lead off the game, and now Kisner with a low hot line drive that just skipped in front of Surum. Here's Brett Austin at the plate. Switch hitter batting to the left side against the righty Markham. First pitch misses the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Very sparse crowd here today at English Field. but it's a busy weekend here on the Virginia Tech campus. It's graduation weekend, and I'll tell you what, you talk about, you don't think about traffic in Blacksburg, Virginia, but there's a lot of traffic. And if you go to a restaurant, you're going to wait because all of these families of the graduates have come to town, and this place is just bustling. Pack had to stay in Christiansburg, about a 15-minute bus ride because of there are no rooms here in Blacksburg. Here's the pitch. It is over for a strike on the inside part of the plate, right at the knees. Austin didn't think so. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brett Austin. Austin has had a great year this year, .325 batting average, 4 homers, 29 runs batted in, and 3 of his 4 homers have come here in about the last 7 games. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swung on, hit in the air, foul left side, and this is going to reach the grassy bank area here at English Field. They do have stands right behind home plate. This is a very pretty field and complex here. And then down the first base line, they've got a grassy bank area with little concrete walls about maybe 5-6 feet apart where people can bring their lawn chairs or they could sit on the concrete if they want to. And that goes about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 15 rows up that grassy bank. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Austin swings, hard ground ball, just foul, wide of first. And the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes on Brett Austin. So this is a very picturesque field. They've done a lot of improvements since I was here the last time, which was the, I don't know, maybe it was 2002, something like that, 2001, 2003. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I was here. But the press box is a lot nicer. The field is a lot nicer. And everything is a lot nicer. And they brought in a new head coach, Patrick Mason, to get things going a little bit better on the field. 1-2 to Austin with Kisner leading off second and 2 outs. The pitch is outside. Looked like a change, or Markey taking a little bit off his fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out here in the first, no score, in a make-or-break doubleheader for the Pack. The season basically coming down to these last 3 games. Can State win them all and get into the ACC tournament. Tremendous pressure on the Pack. 2-2 pitch, swung on, hit in the air, foul ground. Left side, toughs the third baseman chasing, trying to make an over-the-shoulder catch, but misjudged the ball, and the shortstop Surham got there too late. It bounced and went over a retaining fence where that protects the Virginia Tech bullpen down the left field line. So it's a foul ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brett Austin. Austin, as we mentioned in the pregame, we were chatting with him, the last 6 games batting .423 with 3 homers, 9 runs batted in, and 5 runs scored. He's as hot as a match. We'll see if that continues here as he waits the 2-2 pitch from Markey. Kisner leads. Here's the pitch. He checks his swing on a breaking ball. It was down low. Did he go around? No, says the base umpire, Damian Beal. And that was a good call because Austin really, from up here, you could tell he didn't pull the trigger. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Austin. Let's see if Markey tries that breaking ball. That was a breaking ball that started out in the middle of the plate and dropped off the table and came in right around the ankles of Brett Austin on the inside part of the plate. In fact, it was inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Austin. No score here in the first. Kisner with a big lead. They're not holding him. Here's the payoff pitch. Breaking ball fouled on the ground behind home plate. And we'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Doubleheader today for the Pack, and then Saturday, tomorrow, we wind things up at 2 o'clock to end the regular season. We'll be on the air at 1:45 here at English Field. We've got a great look. We're not quite behind home plate, a little to the right of it, but we're above the field up here in the press box. 3-2 pitch, swung on, fouled straight back. So Austin making Markey throw a lot of pitches here in the first. Trey Turner lined out hard to second. Radledge bounced out to second. Kisner reached on a hard one low-line drive that skipped right in front of Surham and off his glove. So he reached on an infield single with 2 outs. And Austin has worked the count to 3-2, and he's been fouling pitches off right and left. Markey checks. Kisner at first. Here's the pitch. Fastball just missed the inside part of the plate. And Brett Austin with a good at-bat round throws a walk. Austin very selective, and the pitch probably missed by a couple of inches on the inside corner. And so the Pack has its first man in scoring position today. Kisner is aboard at second with 2 outs. Austin walks to first, and here's Chance Shepard. Shepard, a big, strapping right-handed batter who has reached base in 5 of his last 6 games. And we'll see if he can do it again here. Right-hander against right-hander. The pitch, fastball, swung on a miss, snap, throw back to first, and very close play at first base. Austin just did get back. Kiselica wasn't holding him on. He was behind the bag. He raced toward the bag as the throw was coming from Zagunis. And a bang-bang play at first as Kiselica put the tag on Austin, but he got back just in time. That last at bat, Brett Austin made Markey throw 10 pitches. He's aboard at first. Kisner with a decent lead off second. And the count on Shepard, no balls and 1 strike. Stayed looking for a go-ahead run here in the first. Here's Markey, snap throw back to second on the pickoff try, and diving back in as Kisner just in time as Perez, the second baseman, slapped the tag on him. No balls and 1 strike. Again, the wind blowing straight out and with some pretty decent velocity from home plate to center field. Shepard awaits the 0-1. Here's the pitch, and it's over for a strike, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing Chance Shepard pretty much straight away. And you can might be able to hear the wind kind of blowing occasionally through our crowd mic, even though it's the wind is coming from behind the press box toward the field. Here's the pitch to Shepard. Tried to get him to go for an outside fastball, but Shepard held off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shepard batting .222 on the year and has not played that much until here recently, maybe the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the season. 18 for 81 at the plate, 3 homers, 12 batted in. And has been playing a lot of DH and some left field for the Wolfpack. Markey checks the runners at first and second. 1-2 pitch with 2 outs coming. Now not forthcoming as Markey steps off the pitching rubber. State's been swinging the bats very, very well here in the month of May. A .307 batting average here in May with 6 homers, 51 batted in. That's the last 8 games of the season. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's chopped foul wide of third. The third base coach, Chris Hart, fields it. Coaching at first base, Brian Ward today for the Wolfpack. The head coach of the Pack, Elliot Avent, pitching coach Tom Holliday in the dugout. The Pack occupying the first base dugout today here at English Field. We have partly cloudy skies, beautiful day, bright sunshine, high of about 66, and absolutely no rain in the forecast. Here's Markey's 1-2 pitch. Shepard takes a breaking ball just a little bit low. That looked like it had the outside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chance Shepard. Kisner, the base runner, off second with an average lead, and Austin leads off first. Austin drawing the 2-out, 10-pitch walk. Markey checks the runners. He's taking a long look at Shepard. Now he does not step off the rubber. Chance Shepard steps out of the batter's box. So time is called. Markey trying to pitch out of a 2-out, 2-out on jam here for Virginia Tech in this first inning. Ball is coming with 2 outs. Shepard awaits at 2-2. Here it comes. Foul ball coming right back our way. And had that been about 3 feet lower, Kevin Fosness, the media relations contact for NC State baseball, might have been able to barehand that one. I told you, Cab, before the game, I said, we're going to get a foul ball back here, man. The screen's not high enough. And it's not. We're right in the alley for foul balls. Well, maybe I'll get one. I didn't bring a net, though, like Harry Carey used to. Harry would lean out with that net. Let me hear you. 2-2 pitch coming again to Chance Shepard. Here it is, and a line drop right to the shortstop, Serum, and that retires the side. Man, the Pack hit the ball hard here in the first inning. Turner lines out to Perez at second, and now Shepard hits a rocket right to Serum, the shortstop, and that retires the side. So the Pack threatens but fails to score. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. After a half inning, State nothing, Virginia Tech coming to bat. This is State Baseball from Learfield Sports. Hit the cover off the ball right there. Well, we keep stroking it like that. We're going to get some hits. Oh, thank you. Was it a hot dog? On that back there. Yeah, they're good about getting your food up here. Oh. Yeah, just give me a go. Yeah, what'd you say? All right. Back at English Field in Blacksburg, Virginia, we go to the bottom of the first. Carlos Rodon completing his warm-up tosses. On the mound, he'll be facing this batting order for Patrick Mason of Virginia Tech. Sage Jenko, the center fielder, will lead it off. The second baseman, Alex Perez, bats second. Mark Zagunas, one of the 15 finalists for the Johnny Bench Award. The catcher bats third. Brendan Hayden, Hayden, the designated hitter, will be in the number 4 batting position. He'll be followed by the left fielder, Phil Soretta batting 5th in left field. Sean Kaselica, the first baseman, batting 6th. Logan Bible, B-I-B-L-E, just like the word of God. Logan Bible, the right fielder, bats 7th. Ricky Surin, the shortstop, is in the 8 hole, followed by Ryan Tufts, T-U-F-T-S, the third baseman. So it's Jenko, Perez, Zagunas, Hayden, Soretta, Kaselica, Bible, Surin, and Tufts. That's the order. Defensively for the Wolfpack, Brett Austin will be catching Carlos Rodon today. Preston Palmero is at first. Logan Ratledge at second. Trey Turner at shortstop with Andrew Kisner at third. Jake Armstrong is in left field today. Jake Fincher is the center fielder. And freshman Garrett Suggs is in right field. Carlos Rodon has completed his warm-up tosses. Here lately, the Hokies have been sending more left-handers up in their lineup than they did earlier in the season. And Jenko is a left-hand batter against the lefty Carlos Rodon, who smokes the first fastball right by him, swing and a miss for a strike. They don't have a radar gun here at English Field, but you can pretty much tell that that pitch was in the low 90s right there from Carlos Rodon, maybe even a little better than that. Here's another fastball on the outside corner for a strike, going 2. Carlos Rodon with a 5-7 record with a sparkling 1.73 earned run average. This is his 14th start of the season. He's thrown 3 complete games. 0-2 pitch coming. Swung on and fouled at the plate. No, it's swung on and missed. Dropped by Jenko. The throw to first in time. And that's a strikeout for Carlos Rodon. Thought that ball might have been foul tipped the way Austin was looking for it. But it came off his glove. Fortunately, it was right near him. He was able to pick it up and throw out Jenko for the first out, the Virginia Tech first inning. 1 up, 1 down for Alex Perez. And Jenko, one guy you want to keep off the base pass, which Rodon has done because he is the leading batter, one of the leading batters for Virginia Tech at .330, and he has 20 stolen bases. So he gets on the base pass. It's sort of like Trey Turner Jr. That the game kind of changes a little bit. But fortunately, Rodon was able to strike him out. He misses on the first pitch to Perez. 1 ball and no strikes. Rodon working quickly. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Perez, a .250 batter on the year with no homers and 21 runs batted in. Another left-handed batter against the lefty Rodon, who fires this fastball low. Rodon a little bit upset with himself there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rodon 5-7, but in the 7 losses, State was shut out 5 times, and the Pack scored only 2 runs. But during those 7 losses, Rodon's ERA was 1.84 with 66 strikeouts in 49 innings. The 2-1 pitch hit in the air, foul, left side, and out of play. So the count even to left-hand batting Alex Perez, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, 1 out here in the Hokies' first inning, no score from Blacksburg. Rodon gets the side from Austin, rocks and deals the 2-2. Fastball swung on, hit in the air, down the left field side, and this is going to make the grassy bank area and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think anybody that's been critical of Carlos Rodon saying he hasn't pitched as well as he did a year ago, that's just not the case. He just had more run support last year. 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed, dropped by Austin. He'll fire to first in time for the out. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for Carlos Rodon. And here is Mark Zagunis, the catcher. Zagunis is a right-handed batter. And Zagunis, one of the best catchers along with Brett Austin in the ACC. Both of them are among the 15 finalists for the Johnny Bench Award for the best catcher in college baseball. Zagunis batting .332 with a homer, and he's the number 3 RBI producer for the Hokies with 35 on the year, and he's got good speed for a catcher, just like Brett Austin. Not a real tall guy at the plate. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Here's the second offering from Carlos Rodon, and it misses down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Zagunis, 6 feet, 212 pounds, from Simonson, New Jersey. 2-0 pitch. Fastball tapped over the mound. Second baseman Logan Ratledge charging. Fires across his body. Got him, and that's the inning. Easy inning for Carlos Rodon. 3 up, 3 down. He strikes out 2. Nothing across for the Hokies. 1 inning in the books from Blacksburg. The score, State nothing, the Hokies nothing. This is State Baseball from Learfield Sports. Hey, Dave, was that a little bit better? That volume a little bit better for you? You got enough crowd? Okay. All right.
I just laughed and said you all get it. And on the two dress and she threw her head. She was looking too good, not so good. Said what you want to do, baby, I don't do.
That's pretty good right there.
Make it go faster.
Yeah, good right there. Scoreless ball game as we go to the second inning here in Blacksburg. The Wolfpack has 1 hit. The Hokies hitless so far, and 3 batters against Carlos Rodon. In ACC play, Virginia Tech's been swept by Clemson, Virginia, Miami, Duke, and Carolina. Its ACC series wins were against Pitt. It actually swept Pitt earlier in the season. I believe that was in March. Beat Notre Dame 2 out of 3 and beat Maryland 2 out of 3. So this is a team that can be dangerous because Maryland's had an excellent year this year. And they're one of 5 teams that are already in the ACC tournament. The other 5 spots still up for grabs. And State right now in the 10th position by a half game over Pitt because Notre Dame beat the Pitt Panthers yesterday by shut them out. Here's Brendan Hayden, or I should say, for the Wolfpack. Leading it off is Jake Fincher, and he works the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Fincher batting .265, 23 runs batted in. Right-hander against right-hander. Foul ball coming back our way and just missed a little bit low into our left. I'm telling you, we're going to get a foul ball today. I wonder if we got to give it back. Probably do. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fincher. Right-hander against right-hander. Pitch on the way. He tried to buzz him up and in with a fastball. Fincher didn't go for it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jake was hitless at Radford on Tuesday, but he's been swinging a very, very good bat lately. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed on the 2-2. Ball dropped by Zagunis. He'll fire to first. That's a strikeout. And there's 1 out in the Wolfpack's second inning. So that's the first strikeout for right-hander Brad Markey. And now the senior will face Preston Palmero. With 1 out, nobody on here in the second inning. Palmero's been heating up again at the plate, just like he did in early April. He is 9 for his last 19 at the dish over his last 6 games. That's a .474 batting average. Takes the first pitch, ball 1. And he went 2 for 4 at Radford the other night. The Pack won that ball game 6-1 on Tuesday. Here's the 1-ball pitch. It's over for a strike. That looked like he took a little bit off his fastball, did Markey, and got it over the inside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Markey working quickly to the left-hand batting Palmero, who swings and fists one toward the third baseman in foul ground, and he makes the catch, does Tufts, the third baseman, and there are 2 gone. I think that one was right in off his fist, and he just swung late and hit a dying quail down toward the third baseman Tufts, about 5 feet into foul territory. He was able to pick it off in the air, and that's out number 2. So Palmero lines foul to the third baseman Tufts, and here's Jake Armstrong taking a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Markey rocks, comes to the plate, fastball swung on and missed, 0-2 on Jake Armstrong. Armstrong was 0 for 1 Tuesday night against Radford as a pinch hitter, and trying to get it going at the plate. He has had some struggles here last 15 or 20 games. 0-2 pitch coming. Fastball swung on, hit in the air, foul, right side, and out of play. Armstrong a little bit behind that fastball by Markey, and that was probably upwards of 90 miles an hour right there, high 80s. Markey wants to work quickly, and Armstrong is ready. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Line drive, left field, base hit. Armstrong getting it going here with the Pack's second hit. A 2-out single to left, and he hit that ball sharply.
Batting the right fielder, number 15, Garrett.
So Armstrong aboard with decent speed, and here comes Garrett Suggs. Suggs here, and I don't know whether it was about mid-April. He started in right field for the Pack. I think it's been about since mid-April he's kind of taken over as a starting right fielder. And good defensively, but it's, as a rookie, still trying to figure out ACC pitching. Here's the delivery by Markey. It's over for a strike and a fastball on the outside part of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. No score. Packs had 3 base runners in this game, 2 in the first, couldn't come up with a run. Jake Armstrong with a 2-out single is at first. Here's Suggs checking his swing and taps it foul. Lines it off the netting above the third base dugout, occupied by the Hokies. No balls, 2 strikes to Garrett Suggs. Suggs batting 196, no homers, 5 runs batted in. He's the 9th place hitter in the lineup today. Trey Turner would be next if Suggs can keep the inning going. Here's the pitch on the way. The 0-2 bunted down the third base line. Beautiful bunt. Markey's the only guy who can field. He throws and not in time. Base hit. Suggs caught everybody off guard and dropped a perfect bunt down the third base line just on the infield AstroTurf grass. Maybe a foot off the foul line, possibly 20 feet down the line. Tufts was playing deep, so he had no chance at third. Zagunis couldn't get it. Markey fielded the ball and made a good, strong throw, but not in time to get Suggs, so he's got an infield base hit. That advances Armstrong to second. So for the second straight inning, the Pack has a man at second with 2 outs, and here's Trey Turner. Turner takes a breaking ball from Markey in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Trey Turner's scored at least a run in 8 of the last 9 games. And Trey Turner's just Trey Turner. He's been playing well. 2 for 4 against Radford on Tuesday with 2 runs scored and a stolen base. He has reached base in 22 straight games. Here's the pitch, breaking ball down low, and the runners fake like they want to advance, but the ball not far enough away from Mark Zagunis, the catcher, for that to happen, and they go scurrying back to their respective bases. 2 outs, Pack batting in the second, no score here in Blacksburg in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Jake Armstrong at second for State, Garrett Suggs at first, and Trey Turner stands in, awaiting the 2-0 pitch from right-hander Brad Markey. Markey deals, breaking ball, just got the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Trey Turner was the ACC and National Player of the Week earlier this month on May 5th after he went 9 for 11 at the plate in the sweep of Coastal Carolina. And he put on a show. I've never seen anything like it. 2-1 coming to Turner. Big breaky ball hit hard on 2 hops of the second baseman Perez. He gets the glove downfield, throws him out, and that's the inning. And once again, for the second straight inning, the Pack threatens but fails to score. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and again, 2 men left on base after an inning and a half. The Pack is stranded 4, and we have no scores. The Hokies come to bat in the bottom of the second. Let's pause for these messages. This is State Baseball on the Wolfpack Sports Network. Thanks for giving me this out. Okay, sure, yeah.
All right,
Anything you want. Or I could go over last night.
yeah, go over last night first.
Do that. Back in Blacksburg, we have partly cloudy skies, bright sunshine, temperature in the 60s, probably about 65. I think the high today is going to get up to about 66. And then as we get deeper into the day, the temperature starts dropping. And overnight, they're expecting a temperature of 42 degrees here in Blacksburg. Leading it off for the Hokies, Brendan Hayden, the designated hitter. Rodon deals to him, and the pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes. Hayden, the designated hitter, and the 4th place batter in the Hokies lineup, batting .319 on the year, a team leading 7 home runs, and a team leading 43 runs batted in. Swings and misses on this offering, the count even to him at 1 ball and 1 strike. He's slugging for the year at a .530 clip, so Brendan Hayden having a pretty good year. He's a left-handed batter against Rodon, and the lefty deals. Here's the pitch. It's over for a strike, 1-2. Yesterday in Atlantic Coast Conference action, Clemson beat Boston College 8-4, so Clemson now in 3rd place in the Atlantic Division at 14-13. Here's the pitch inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Boston College dropping to 9-19. Florida State shut out Duke 3-0. Duke dropping to 15-13. Florida State improving to 20-8 in the conference. Here's the pitch. It's missing, and 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count. Now on the Hokies leadoff batter here in the second, Brendan Hayden. Rodon sights the sign from Austin. Rocks into the wind, payoff pitch, swung on and looped toward the left center field gap, and getting over to cut it off his pincher. That's a base hit. A looping liner off the bat of Brendan Hayden to left center field, and the Hokies have their leadoff man aboard here in the second for Phil Soretta. North Carolina and Miami, they were rained out just like we were here at Virginia Tech last night. They'll play a doubleheader starting at 3 o'clock. Virginia and Wake Forest also washed out. They'll start a doubleheader at 3 o'clock today. And as we mentioned earlier, Notre Dame shut out Pitt 3-0. Pat Connaughton was the starting pitcher in that game. And if that name rings a bell, he was also one of the better basketball players for the Fighting Irish this season. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Phil Soretta. Brendan Hayden doesn't run much. He's at first base with a decent lead. Pack holding him on. Here's the pitch from Rodon. It's a breaking ball down low. 2 balls and no strikes to Phil Soretta. Soretta batting a hefty .358, but this is only his 19th start. 29 of 81 at the plate. No homers, 12 runs batted in. Soretta, a right-hand batter against the lefty Rodon. 2-0 pitch coming. and it is low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. So this is the first time today Rodon has fallen behind 3-0 on any Hokie batter. No score. We're in the second, game 1 of the doubleheader. Here in beautiful Blacksburg, Virginia. 3-0 pitch is over for a strike, and it's 3-1. As we take a look to our left, we can kind of lean out the booth, and we see Lane Stadium, the huge football complex of the Hokies. Looks like a practice football field for the Hokies over the left field wall. Here's the pitch on the 3-1. Rodon gets a fastball over. He got the letters for a strike, and it's 3-2 on Phil Soretta. Brendan Hayden is the base runner with nobody out here in the second inning. No score from English Field. Glad to have you with us. We'll be on the air tomorrow for the wind-up game of the series at 1:45. We'll have about 30 minutes between games today in the doubleheader. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled back and off to the right down the plate. 3-2 the count on Phil Soretta. So for the second straight batter, Rodon has gone full on a Hokie batter. Hayden was able to hit a 3-2 pitch and a looping liner to left center to begin the inning. And Rodon looking squarely at first base. Hayden's got an average lead, but Rodon soft tosses over there, and back standing up is Hayden. As a team, Virginia Tech batting .279. They're third in the ACC in batting, so they've got some pop. They don't hit many homers, just 11 for the season. They average 5 runs a game. 3-2 pitch coming to Soretta. Here it comes, and a ground ball through the right side and the right field, a dribbler for a base hit. That was not well hit at all, but perfectly placed between Ratledge and Palmero and the first base hole. And so back-to-back base hits by Hayden and Soretta. Hayden advances to second on that dribbler that got through the infield. And here's John Kaselika. Kaselika is scheduled to be the Game 2 pitcher. He's at first base now. We got a big jet flying overhead. Probably heading to the Washington, D.C. area. But who knows? Kaselika batting .263 on the year, 36 runs batted in and no home runs. He's the number 2 RBI producer for this team. Left-hander against left-hander, runners lead. Here's the pitch, breaking ball down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Hayden led off the inning with a looping liner to left center. Soretta followed with a ground ball dribbler through the hole and into right field for a base hit. And now Rodon falling behind Kaselika. He sets, he fires, big swing and a miss on the fastball, 1-1. Is the count on Kaselika. The last time Virginia Tech won an ACC series was against Maryland in mid-April. They went through that long 10-game losing streak from about the middle of April all the way through May 3rd, lost 10 in a row. They've kind of righted the boat here lately. They've split their last 4 games. But they've still lost 12 of their last 14, and that 10-game losing streak was included in that. But they're trying to finish the season strong here at home on this graduation weekend in Blacksburg. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Rodon coming. Kaselika looks at it, a breaking ball, low and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Rodon a little bit miffed in himself right now. He's starting to fall behind hitters. He's fallen behind everybody that he's faced this inning. Hayden leads off second, Soretta off first with back-to-back base hits. So Rodon in a little bit of a pickle here in the second. Kaselika looks at a breaking ball, just missed, and it's 3-1. Rodon's not missing by much. That was just almost a strike. I mean, that very, very close pitch. I'll tell you what, though, if I'm Kaselika here, I'm going to take this next pitch from Rodon, even though it's probably going to be in the zone because he doesn't want to walk me. 3-1 coming. Fastball outside corner for a strike. It's 3-2. So he did take it. The head coach for the Hokies, Patrick Mason, coaching at third, Mike Kunagonis. is at first base. Rodon has worked the count full now for the third straight batter this inning, this time against Kaselica. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners lead off first and second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off in the air to the left and out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Count holds. 10 teams are going to make the 2014 ACC baseball tournament. It'll start Tuesday. It'll feature 2 games, number 7 against number 10, and then number 8 against number 9. Wolfpack just wants to get in, so it's going to be playing on Tuesday if it makes it. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on a nest. He struck him out. Big out there. Now the back can get out of the inning with a double play ball. They got a landing strip not far from here. And a lot of the single-engine planes come by here. One, it was raining buckets yesterday. Wait to leave. The guy flew a plane right into that storm and landed not far from here. What's he thinking? What's he doing up in the air in this kind of weather? So Kaselica strikes out. That's the 3rd strikeout for Carlos Rodon. Now Brett Austin goes out to talk to Rodon about how to pitch to Logan Bible, the right fielder. Rodon obviously wants to keep the ball low, try to get Bible to hit it on the ground, as the middle infielders will be at double play depth. Looks like Kisner is going to be playing close to the infield grass. And again, this is an AstroTurf surface with an AstroTurf infield. The only dirt on the field is the pitcher's mound. Outfield straight away for Logan Bible. Bible has not played much. This is just his 10th start of the year, but he swung the bat well. 18 for 43 at the plate. That's a .419 batting average with 8 batted in. He's a right-hand batter against Rodon. The lefty checks the runners at first and second. Pitch on the way. Curveball over for a strike. A beautiful pitch, 0-1. And those winners I mentioned on the first day of the ACC tournament next Tuesday, the winners would advance to pool play. There'll be 2 pools of 4 teams, and then they'll play Wednesday through Saturday to determine the ACC baseball champ. Pitch misses. 1 ball and 1 strike to Logan Bible, the Hokies right fielder. Hayden aboard at second, Soretta at first. They led off this inning with back-to-back hits. Kaselica struck out, and that's where we are right now. 3 hits for the Pack, 2 for the Hokies. Rodon sets, fires, and the pitch hits Bible. It looked like it got him on the right leg, between the knee and the ankle, somewhere in that vicinity. So that's a hit by pitch. And that loads the bases. Hayden moves over to third, Soretta up to second, Bible at first. The bad news is the sacks are loaded with Hokies. The good news is 1 ground ball gets the Pack out of the inning. Here's Ricky Surham, the shortstop, batting .246 with 8 ribbies. A right-handed batter and a little guy. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, there's a lot of pressure on the Pack here in this series to sweep, to get into the ACC tournament, and that means there's a lot of pressure on Carlos Rodon. And he may be feeling some of it right now. But he is a gamer and a competitor, and he's the best the Pack has. And maybe the best pitcher in the ACC. Well, I think he is anyway. Here's a pitch, ground ball foul toward the third base dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Ricky Surham. Hayden, the base runner at third. Soretta at second. Bible at first. There's just 1 out. Rodon needs a play-by-play ball if he can get one. Here's the pitch to Surham. He bunts right back to the mound. Rodon has no play. It gets by him. And all hands are safe. 1-0 Hokies. Rodon charged that ball, and it went right through his legs. It took a little hop, and I think Rodon thought it was going to hop up a little bit higher. And he didn't get the glove down low enough, and the ball went right through the wickets. And we'll have to see how they score that. They're going to score that a base hit for Surham and an RBI, so it's an infield single. Wow. Hayden comes in from third to score. 1-0 Hokies. Soretta moves over to third. Bible moves up to second. That would have been a close play at the plate had Rodon been able to field it. And now here's Tufts, the 9th place batter in the order. The run was probably going to score anyway, but still, you'd like to be able to see what had happened if Rodon would have been able to field that ball. Tufts takes strike one. Soretta at third, Bible now at second, Surham at first. Tufts behind in the count, 0-1. Hokies already with a run in. 3 hits so far in the inning off Rodon. Rodon sets, checks the runners. Pitch on the way. Let up is hit in the air toward the right fielder. Suggs toward the line. It's going to drop, base hit. 1 run is in, and everybody else will move up a base. 2-0 Hokies. Tufts just put the bat on the ball and blooped it down the right field line for a base hit. 4th hit of the inning. RBI for Tufts. As Soretta comes in to score from third. Bible moves over to third. Serum up to second. Tufts aboard at first. And here's the top of the order in Sage Jenko and his .330 batting average. And now here comes Tom Holliday, the NC State pitching coach, out to try and settle everything down. All the infielders come to the mound as well as they try to do 2 things here. Holliday trying to settle down Rodon and then figure out what happens if the Hokies lay down another bunt. Who's going to cover